1 year ago, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing with my life. Everyone around me seemed so sure about their future, where they were going to college, what they wanted to major in, and where they see their future careers. And meanwhile, I was sitting there questioning literally everything. So instead of forcing myself into a decision I wasn't ready for, I took a gap year. And honestly, this year ended up changing me way more than I expected. So in today's video, I want to talk about my gap year, the emotions that came with it, how I finally decided if college was the right path for me, where I am mentally now after one of the most confusing but important decisions of my life. So if you're feeling lost about your future, questioning college, taking a different path, or just figuring out life, this video is for you. So let's talk about it. So when I first decided to take a gap year, it wasn't this confident and fearless decision. It was actually really hard mentally. I felt overwhelmed, burnt out, and confused. And I remember feeling this pressure that I needed to have everything figured out once I graduated high school. And the truth was, I didn't. I was interested in so many different things, but also nothing at the same time. I had so many ideas of what my future could look like, but none of them clicked yet. And instead of listening to myself, I tried to rush into answers that I wasn't ready for yet. All because that's what I thought I was supposed to do because society tells you that. But deep down, I knew that I wasn't ready and needed time. Not because I didn't care about my future, but because I cared so much and didn't want to make a huge decision based off of pressure and fear. Honestly, after a lot of thinking, overthinking, conversations, and just being honest with myself, I decided to take a gap year. And I feel like people online either make gap years super glamorous or that you're falling behind. But honestly, it was a mixture of both really good moments and both really hard moments. At first, it honestly felt weird watching everyone move on. And I was still stuck in the past. People were posting about their dorm rooms, college friends, campus life, football games, and all of that stuff. And I can't lie to say that I never compared myself to them. There are definitely days that I've questioned myself, am I doing things correctly? Am I falling behind? Is everyone else moving on without me? And that is a hard thing to grasp sometimes. And I think one of the hardest parts of choosing a different path is not everyone understands it. I personally have had a lot of supportive people in my life that support my gap year and supported the fact that I took a gap year. But I know not everyone would be in my situation with all of their close friends and family support. So if you're in that situation, I'm truly so sorry. Some people in my life did, and some may not have, who didn't tell me. But to others, it may have looked like I was wasting time by taking a gap year. And when you already are in that time of uncertainty, that time can feel really vulnerable. But over time, something started changing. During that time, I really had time to think about what I truly wanted to do without having the pressures of having to apply to college that same fall after only 4 months before the next school year started. And I started learning more about myself outside of school and grades, and I can just live my life. And honestly, I think I needed that more than I realized. One thing that my gap year taught me is that I'm a lot more independent than I thought I was. I learned how to sit from uncertainty rather than running from it. I also realized how important creativity actually is. Content creation, YouTube, storytelling are some of the things that have made me so genuinely happy. During my gap year, I had time to think about the life that I actually want. Not just a career, not just a title, but the kind of person that I want and hope to become. I started thinking less about what's impressive and more about what feels meaningful to me. And honestly, that changed everything. So throughout my gap year, one of the biggest things on my mind, and I'm sure every other person's mind who decides to take a gap year, is, do I want to go to college? And honestly, it's a pretty valid question. And personally for me, I really went back and forth on it. And I still currently am going back and forth on it, as my gap year is slowly starting to come to a close by August or September. I still have to make that decision. Because for me, there were definitely moments where I thought I should maybe take a different path, but eventually I realized something important. It wasn't that college itself is wrong for me, it's just that I wasn't ready for it. I needed time to mature emotionally, I needed time to get to know myself and know who I am. And I needed to figure out why I wanted to go, what my major was, and that I wasn't going because everyone else around me was. And once I gave myself that space, I completely changed my perspective. I got to a point where I could possibly definitely see myself genuinely there. Not because I magically have my whole life figured out now, because trust me, I don't, but because I feel more grounded and know myself more than I did a year ago. And I honestly think if I had gone right after high school, I would be going for the wrong reasons and spending a buttload of money that I would not have ended up using. Now I'm fully not set on college yet either, even as my gap year is slowly starting to come to a close, but I do know one thing. I feel like I'm walking into this next chapter of my life intentionally instead of overwhelmed, emotionally, and lost. So, after a year of a gap year, where am I at now? And honestly, I have been feeling a mix of different kinds of emotions. I've been feeling happiness, I've been feeling stress, I've been feeling anxious, all these things bundling up to try to figure out what my future actually holds. I think there's this expectation that once you fully decide this, that your anxieties basically just fades away, which is not true at all. But that's not how life works. Even now, I have anxiety about these things, but the difference is I know how to more trust myself and others who support me. I trust that I can handle more uncertainty and decisions that need to be made. And I know that changing my paths doesn't mean failure. And I trust that my life doesn't have to look like everyone else's to be meaningful. I honestly think this gap year has helped me mentally in ways that I can never explain. It helped reduce all the confusion, all the stress, all the anxiety you may have if you don't have a full college set out once you graduate high school. The gap year forced me to slow down, it forced me to reflect, and it taught me to learn who I am and how to make my own decisions. And honestly, I don't regret taking it at all. So if you're someone who feels confused right now, or behind about college, or scared that everyone else has life figured out but you, just know you're not alone. Taking a different path doesn't make you lazy, it doesn't make you unsuccessful, and it definitely doesn't mean your future is ruined. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you need time, and that's okay. And honestly, I think my gap year gave me something I would have never expected: clarity. Not perfect clarity, not every answer, but enough clarity to finally move on with myself instead of who I thought I was supposed to be. So if you've taken a gap year or are considering taking one to figure out your future right now, please comment down below and share your stories to not only me, but to others who may be in the same situation as you. I'd love to hear all of your stories and hear where you all come from. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share, because I definitely will be continuing making videos like this and more videos about adulthood, personal growth, the college life, creativity, navigating life together, and girlhood. So if you want to stay tuned for those videos, please do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope that this helped you or helped someone else in some way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.